I knew that I wasn't myself. I was on the tractor a lot. The weather being so bad, I was constantly beating myself up for having to work so many long hours, not seeing the kids. I try my best to be a good dad, and I love spending time with my kids. And I felt like I hadn't seen them for weeks. I was feeling guilty that the burden of looking after the kids was all falling on my wife. So I was feeling like a bad husband. I felt like I wasn't a good enough farmer. And although I don't think I'm the best farmer in the world, I do have a lot of pride in what we do here. And I felt like I was kind of letting the farm down. When I was doing other stuff, other industry things and things with the podcast, I kept thinking, well, I should be on the farm. I should be harvesting now. I should be doing other things. And I just felt like wherever I turned, I was letting somebody down. It all kind of culminated, and eventually, I just completely broke down. I started having extreme panic attacks. So the first time it happened, I was actually bringing straw back. I was on the load of straw behind me early hours of the morning. I was trying to get straw in before it rained, and on quite a busy road, and I thought I was having a heart attack. And obviously later found out that was a panic attack. And then they happened quite a lot. Relatively small things would trigger those. I can picture it now. I was sat at the end of the table, and the kids were all laughing and joking, and much more eloquent people than me would have talked about depression. But I felt like I was there, but I wasn't there. I felt like a shadow, and I couldn't engage. Although I wanted to, I knew that I was letting them down because I should be laughing and joking with them. I just couldn't. It sounds ridiculous to me now, and it almost feels as if I'm talking about someone else. But I felt like when I was at my lowest that my family would be better off without me. And that is quite hard to admit, because now, clearly they wouldn't be, but that's how I felt. So, I have got through it. It was without a doubt the hardest thing I've ever been through, because I had no experience with it. It took me completely by surprise. So my family convinced me to go to a GP eventually. Of course, like all farmers and men especially, I suppose, I resisted it for a while. I thought I would get through it and I'd be okay, but or I was too busy to go, or something stupid like that. But eventually I went. Remember sitting in the waiting room waiting to be called through and just thinking, what am I doing here? I'm wasting everyone's time. This is stupid. It's just all in my head. And then I walked through the door. I just instantly burst into tears. I wouldn't be one to sort of cry that easily with things like that, but I just burst into tears. The doctor was amazing. She was just fabulous. Can't speak highly enough. Put me on antidepressants, quite strong antidepressants. I was diagnosed with clinical depression, and antidepressants took quite a while to kick in, but they did, and I think they helped. And I was on them for nearly a year. I remember walking out of there, and I was very relieved in a way, because I was diagnosed with something, so I knew I wasn't just being stupid. It wasn't in my imagination, but I also I thought, is this it now? Am I depressive? Is this going to define me? Is this me now for the rest of my life? But now I see, of course, now I'm better and I'm fine and I've gone through it. That taking antidepressants or going to the doctors for mental health is absolutely no different than going for physical health. It's no different than going to get antibiotics or something like that. And I hope I will never have to go on them again. I have no intention of doing so, but if I have to, then I will. I'm pleased to say that I am still here, and I did get through it.